Well, folks, that was a remarkable rendition of the Korngold Violin Concerto. We just heard the opening, the first movement with Shunsuke Sato, an artist we featured last night on our program, up-and-coming young violinist of extraordinary gifts, and has actually sort of moved into the Baroque sphere and is playing more, or has recently been working with the Netherlands Baroque Society. But that's an interesting story in itself. But he was, yeah. And hello to you, Frank. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
Yeah, hanging in there. It's been quite a relaxing day. In fact, I went to a bit of a garage sale this morning, and
buy anything?
Well, yes, it's a sort of an ongoing garage sale from a quite a long deceased member of the, a part of the audio engineering entourage. And so people can come and go on Saturday mornings here and there and pick up bits. So I went and had a bit of a scrounge today and got a couple of patch bays and a few just patch jack fields and things.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just a few bits and pieces to add to the junk. So
your garage.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So one day someone will have to do the same here. I did meet some interesting people though, and I met a gentleman, and I won't reveal any names or contexts. No. But I heard that someone is doing an enormous transfer job at the moment of hundreds and hundreds of off-air ABC recordings made in the 1940s.
Whoa.
And these were recorded by an amateur enthusiast on their 10 kilohertz wide IF receiver, probably an AR88 or something,
yes.
And straight onto 16-inch transcription records. So it's interesting that the ABC archives in that period has been lost to us. Most of it's landfill between Sydney and Newcastle.
Is that where it is?
Yeah, that's where it all ended up. 500,000 discs were sort of shoveled into the freeway. But it is. It's just beyond reproach. It's Australia's cultural cringe in its worst expression. But it's wonderful to know that enthusiasts were out there recording things off air. Now, I don't know if these records will ever see the light of day or what will ever happen to them. I said that I'd be interested if it does, but it's a private arrangement, private collection, and I don't think there's any intent at this stage about making them public. I hope there is after they've all been done. It's about a 5-year project.
Is your source able to update you as things happen?
Well, I asked about that, but the gentleman concerned is also quite private. So I think, it's just the knowledge that this material is out there, and someday it'll probably be accessible. I'd like to think so. And I just said that, look, one of my missions in life is to sort of advance the cause and make music accessible and historic recordings accessible. Australia's track record's not that great.
Can I just, did you meet him fortuitously, or
fortuitously, yeah. It was, I had no idea I was going to meet this gentleman before the event.
It's amazing.
Extraordinary, yeah. I mean, it was sort of, it was likely I would meet that type of person because of the nature of the sale, and it's like a private garage sale, and I'm on a list of probably, 50 people who come and go and pick up. It's an enormous array of stuff. It's just,
if we believed, you see, we would say that forces are at work.
Well, that's right. That's what people would say. But
yes, of course.
Yes, that's right.
But anyway, are you sort of able to contact him again?
Well, it's not that easy, but I have some ideas about where he is and how things work. So yes, there might be an opportunity under a different setting to make an overture or two in a while.
Okay, we'll let that go now.
Yeah,
that's most interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting, and it's. I mean, the thing that interests me most is the fact that there are private collections out there, significant private collections, or people were doing the sort of thing, they were dubbing stuff off air, and he said the quality is unbelievably good. So off air, 10 kilohertz wide back in the 1940s, isn't it fascinating?
Remarkable stuff.
Yeah, it is.
I used to have a tuner that I bought especially for that sort of thing.
Okay.
It was a special. It was supposed to have a special low distortion detector.
Right.
It was called an ortho fidelity.
Really?
Tuner. I think Mr. Stew's got one or had one.
Oh, was it an AM3? Was it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
And I think it was made in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
but it had the trouble was I didn't have a 10kc filter,
Right.
and I was recording it on a Revox,
Yes.
and the 10 kilohertz was recorded. But I suppose you could always fill it.
You could notch it. You could notch it out. You could certainly notch it out. I mean, there'd be no problem at all. I mean, you'd be able to. Yeah. Have you still got your tapes?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just recording 60s stuff. I was just recording what was going down at the time.
Yeah, fair enough. Anything that's of interest, particularly, it's interesting how people often would not keep the announcements, but I think that's probably the most interesting part in hindsight. The recordings are all out there, but the way the theatre, the nature of the event is the thing that, it's good to preserve if we can.
It didn't occur to me at the time that they'd be particularly historic or worth preserving,
Yeah, I understand. I mean,
I had reel-to-reel,
yes.
7-inch reel-to-reel,
yes.
3 3/4.
Okay.
And I should have gone 7.5, I suppose, but at the time the funds were a little bit limited.
Well, I understand.
And the recording tape wasn't altogether not good quality. I used BASF.
Yes, understood. Yeah, there are some really interesting archives popping up. For instance, there's one called the Shortwave Radio Audio Archive, and I'm not sure where it's hosted, but I've been listening quite a bit to this, and it's a massive collection. And it's like a blog page where people send in recordings and they're sort of uploaded, and it's a part of the conversation, and it's a chance for people to talk about them and share them. And there's all sorts of recordings from the 60s or earlier right through to contemporary times.
That's wonderful.
So yeah, it's just shortwavearchive.com. And that's really interesting.
Oh, excellent.
A lot of Radio Australia there.
Oh, I'll make a note of that.
Yeah, so shortwavearchive.com. I recommend it thoroughly. It's really, really comprehensive, and people can submit recordings, and it explains how to do it. You just have to forward your MP3 file, and it goes on the list, and it becomes a part of the broader conversation.
Right.
Pretty impressive. Yeah.
Now, the other thing, I'm getting very excited. I've decided to go to the boot sale.
Oh, great. Sure.
And Kathy has kindly, she's volunteered to get me there.
Okay, sure.
She can just drop me.
Yeah.
And then I can go home with Leighton.
Okay. Oh, that sounds good.
Or someone,
Yeah, sure.
A cab.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, I think I might rock up about 9:30 thereabouts.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be there at 9:30ish.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't think it officially starts until 10.
No, that's right.
Or maybe
there's nothing to stop you coming early.
Yeah, or maybe I'll come a little bit early. There may be a few people milling around, or maybe I'll be a bit closer to 10. But I just imagine a lot of people will go.
Yep.
And when I think of how popular the EMDRC Hamfests are, it's one of the biggest Hamfests. If that number of people come along, all the streets in the area are going to be full. So it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. It may be bigger than what they expect. It could be something like bigger than Texas, because I think some of the people are chomping at the bit for Hamfest opportunities.
Well, especially the EMDRC people.
Yeah, that's it. So, look, I'll probably leave here around 9:30ish, and I'm only a few minutes away, and we'll just see what what's going on. I'll keep, if Kathy wants to give me a call, I'm happy to look out for you, or I could look out for you anyhow, but if I'm not, if a park's not easy, I might, I could stand out the front or something. But, there might be a way forward there. But yes, I think they've got the upstairs now, don't they, in the EMDRC club room. So maybe that'll help. You still with us there, Frank? Yeah, okay, sure. All right, well, we'll look forward to that. That'll be good. Now, we'll have our 20s hit, perhaps.
You there?
Yes, I'm there.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I've just got a phone call I have to take.
Oh, sure. Yes.
I'll be back I'll just be a moment.
That's okay. Take your call. That's fine. We'll have our 20s hit.
Won't be long.
That's all good. That's no problem at all. We've got a few minutes here on another 8-inch broadcast record. It's Harry Bigwood and his Broadcasters, English group from the late 1920s, about 1928, thereabouts. These are budget label Vocalion records, 8-inch discs, and they were cheap and nasty and ubiquitous, and we have a stash of them here which has sort of come to light fairly recently. So exploring this part at the moment. And I think the name of the track is what is it? What Do We Do on a Dewy Day is the name of the track. Harry Bigwood's Broadcasters. I'm vk3sl. Testing.
bright and gay. But what do we do on a do-do-do-y day? All we do is lots of talking on a moonlight night in May. But what do we do on a do-do-do-y day? Do we love? Do we play? Do we hug just a little bit, kiss just a little bit, boy? I'll say, when the parlor's warm and cozy and the old folks are away. Oh, what do we do on a do-do-do-y day? On an 8-inch broadcast record from 1928-ish, and apparently they sold for 1 shilling and threepence, apparently, and they were pressed by Vocalion. Now, I was reading about these small records, and that was an 8-inch record. They also had many different sizes, kiddies records, which were about 5-inch, but I also noticed they had 7-inch discs, and I found one in the same pile of diminutive size discs. There is a Victory record. These were the budget records sold by Woolworths. Apparently they were about 6 penny, it says. Yeah, well, makes them very good value. And sold exclusively by Woolworths in the late 1920s. And I've only got 1 or 2. They're pretty scarce. I think I picked this up in England. And we'll sample it now. So we'll go from 8-inch to 7-inch. I might even have a couple of 5-inches here as well. Yeah, the Victory Dance Orchestra, whoever they are. And these masters all came from Crystallite or from Vocalion, I think. I think that's the story. And so they're all under pseudonyms, of course. So here we go. An electric recording on the Victory label with a little ship in the sailing, the Victory. And we have here, My Inspiration Is You, and it says played by the Victory Dance Orchestra. These little records are really quite fascinating, and they were cheap. Well, amidst the distortion and the inner groove distortion, these got a tiny little labels. You just heard the Victory Dance Orchestra, whoever they are. These are diminutive records, small discs made in the 1920s, a long time before 45s came along, and they're sort of sample records sold cheaply, and this one was sold by Woolworths. So we're sort of going down in scale. So here we have some fairy records. Got quite a pile of fairy records. These were produced by Vocalion in Britain, and a lot of them sort of turn up in Australia. They're made for little kiddies' gramophones, and they're a bit of fun. They're very small, 5 inches, little baby records, and it's amazing they survive at all, considering the treatment they must have had. This has electrically recorded, stamped across the label very proudly, and it's a comedy song. We don't know the artist, but we do know the title. It's called Wave to Me. I'm vk3sl, and we are testing on 160 and on UHF.
His lips were pressed to hers and he'd his arms around her chassis. The guard, he blew his whistle and she jumped into the train, and leaning through the window there she sang the sweet refrain. Wave to me, wave to me, wave to me, wave to me, wave. Now I'm leaving you, sweetheart, like your old bald head. It's hard to part. I want to sniffle like the very devil, so help me to be brave. And now I'm going to tatters up to London on a wave to me, wave to me, wave. That poor lass in London, one night in Piccadilly, she broke the pledge, her mother's heart, and the policeman's nose, how silly. And as they led her gently through the crowded thoroughfare, she shouted out to Nelson standing in Trafalgar Square. Wave to me, wave to me, wave. Now I'm leaving you, sweetheart, like your old bald head. It's hard to part. As mother said to Mr. Drage as he drove off with our piano, wave to me, wave to me, wave.
There we go, a mere sample. We've got about half a song squished onto a very small record made for kiddies' gramophones back in the 1920s. I think it might have been Leslie Saroni. It sounded like him, but it could have been anyone really. They all sound a bit the same. All right, another one. Stacks of them here, these fairy records. Someone's fairy record collection. Here we go. Here's a military band. This will be fun. We've got a foxtrot on one side and a military band on the other. This one says proudly Stephanie Gavotte. Now, I don't know if this is electric or not. If it's acoustic, it's going to sound a bit rough through the system, but we'll find out. We'll slap it on and find out. And test missions on 160 and on UHF. That's the name of the game. It's acoustic. And that's it. I keep forgetting they're very short, these records. Only go for about 1.5 minutes per side. Kitty's gramophone discs. And that was the Stephanie Gavotte, played by a military band. That was evidently acoustic, that one. This next one's electric. I'm keen to hear what's on these. These are all from this flood-damaged collection. It's about a foot-high pile of 8-inch, 7-inch and 5-inch records. And this one is the Toy Town Parade, One Step. On the other side, we've got Simon the Cellarer, Cellarer. I'm sure that doesn't mean cell phone. Cellarer. All right, well, maybe we'll hear both. We'll see what they're like. It's a one-step, so it'll be pretty upbeat. If we hear side one, the Toy Town Parade, perfect for a kiddie's device. Going back to the about 1928, thereabouts. That's a good, safe benchmark.
Jumping frog from the Toy Town Parade. Kangaroo, Sailor Blue, dear old Judy too, and her punch in his coat of braid. Looking mighty grand, led the big brass band to the Toy Town Parade.
There we go, a 5-inch disc from way back when. Let's flip it, see what's on the other side. I want to hear this one. Simon the Cellarer, it says. Now, this one's a foxtrot, and it tells us it's vocal refrain. This must be the B side. It is. The other side's got an A, and this side's got a B. And, yes, a very decorated label in green and gold, with a ferry scene, ferries floating around, very appealing for young people and their toy gramophones. Prior to this time, I think the toy gramophones actually had chocolate records, but I wouldn't fancy biting into one of these. Simon the Cellarer is the name of the track. And we're testing on 160 and on UHF and streaming online under my call sign on YouTube. Alrighty, there we have it. A stash of diminutive discs, 78s from the late 1920s, sort of a Bit of an unusual offering, but yeah, captures my imagination. I've been wanting to sample these for a while, and there's lots more, so we'll come back to this topic. Future missions. I'm vk3sl, and we're testing, and we're doing all of that, and Frank's a busy man at the job, and we're just spinning 78s directly to air, historic recordings. And we're really just picking them out of the batch and discovering them as we go. It's sort of the approach. And what have we got here? This is from the Continental batch. We've got a whole lot of Continental records here, and they're quite interesting. And I can't really read the titles, but I think this one is Dutch, and it's a Mortier Orgel, which I think might be a fair organ. Sort of one of those organs that you see where they at fairs with all the a pipe organ, portable, like trailer type pipe organ, I think they are. So this could be interesting. We'll see what it's like. It's a medley number 9, so evidently there are others in the series. It's on a Philips record, but it's all in Dutch or German. I think it's Dutch. So let's find out what's going on here with the deal thing. I'm vk3sl, and we're queuing and we're testing. Well, folks, that strikes a chord. I'm impressed with the sound of that fair organ. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, I've got memories of attending the Scoresbury Steam Fair. I think there's another wonderful one at Lake Bolac as well, and other places. They have these great steam events, and in my recollection, they do have one of these organs to sort of set the scene. And they're sort of a very contained device with little novelty elements, and everything's contained, and they present, and I think they run off sort of like paper rolls, a little bit like a pianola. I think that's the way it works.
but they are very fascinating mechanical marvels, those instruments, and I'm gathering that's what we've just heard. I'm sort of guessing, really. But yeah, brings back a few memories. All right, well, we'll feature the other side another time. That was medley number 9 on a Philips record. I have quite a collection here from the Continental Archive. These are records that have recently landed on the doorstep. And we have, what have we got here? Lily Marlene. This was a big hit, I think, for Lael Andersen, Andersen. Lael Andersen was a big singer in Germany, I think, after the war. She sort of lived on. I think she was still doing stuff in the 70s and 80s. But here she is as a younger person, to my best recollection. This is really just clutching at straws. In German, it says. What else can I tell you? It's on a Radiola Telefunken record issued by AWA back in the late 1940s. Let's have a listen. Lael Andersen.
Vor der Kaserne, vor dem großen Tor, stand eine Laterne und steht sie noch davor. So wollen wir uns da wiedersehen, bei der Laterne wollen wir stehen, wie einst Lili Marleen, wie einst Lili Marleen. Unser beider Schatten sah wie einer aus, dass wir so lieb uns hatten, das sah man gleich daraus. Alle Leute sollen es sehen, wenn wir bei der Laterne stehen, wie einst Lili Marleen, wie einst Lili Marleen. Wie einst Lili Marleen. Schon rief der Posten, sie bliesen Zapfenstreich. Es kann 3 Tage kosten, Kamerad, ich komm ja gleich. Da sagten wir auf Wiedersehen, wie gerne würd ich mit dir gehen, mit dir, Lili Marleen, mit dir, Lili Marleen. Aus dem stillen Raume, aus der Erde Grund, hebt mich wie im Traume dein verliebter Mund. Wenn sich die spitzen Nebel drehen, werd ich bei der Laterne stehen, wie einst Lili Marleen, wie einst Lili Marleen. Wie einst Lili Marleen, wie einst Lili Marleen.
Lovely.
Oh, wasn't that beautiful? That record has significance in it was heard a lot by the troops during the Second World War. I think it was recorded in 1939. I didn't realise it was that. And
Was that Marlene Dietrich?
no, it was Lael Andersen.
Okay.
Andersen, S-E-N. Lili Marleen. There's all sorts of references to this record as a sort of became an anthem for troops, Allied troops during the war.
It did, but I think it was also popular in Germany, you know,
Yeah, I think it might have been as well. I'm just
with
looking
the
at
other side.
Yeah.
It's strange.
It is strange. Here we go. Anderson was awarded a gold disc for over 1 million sales of Lily Marlene.
Oh, that's the original version.
Yeah, this is the one we just heard. It is thought that she was awarded her copy after the end of World War II, and a copy of this particular gold disc was owned by it goes on. Nazi officials did not approve of the song, and Goebbels prohibited it from being played on the radio.
Oh.
Anderson was not allowed to perform in public for 9 months, not just because of the song, but because of her friendship with Rolf Liebermann, another Jewish artist she had met in Zurich.
Was she Jewish?
Yeah, how about that? In desperation, she she attempted suicide.
Oh, no.
Anderson was so popular, however, that the Nazi government allowed her to perform again, albeit subject to several conditions, one of which was that she would not sing Lily Marlene.
Yes,
Goebbels did order her to make a new military version of the song with a significant drum, which was recorded in 1942.
This is what I'm thinking of, or what was confusing it with.
Right. Isn't it interesting how a song can sort of galvanise and be manipulated in different theatres of social and, military and controlling governments?
I knew it had a sort of a double life.
Yeah. Isn't that fascinating? Gosh, she lived up until 1972, it says here. And and I remember we featured her on one of our missions during the lockdowns, and it was revealed that she actually was one of the very first contestants in Eurovision in the 1960s.
Oh, really?
So
I can't imagine her on Eurovision.
I might look it up, see if I can find it. We'll play the other side first. It's Rain in April, Regen in April. In German, it says Lael Anderson with orchestral accompaniment directed by Eddie Brunner.
Really could find that.
This is this big batch of Continental records, which landed on the doorstep quite recently. And it's a bit of a story, but we'll leave that one for the moment. And that's what we're sort of riffing through. All sorts of interesting things here. Lael Anderson. So we'll hear Rain in April, and then I might see if I can find the Eurovision song, which is quite funny, if I'm right. We'll have a listen. And this is vk3sl.
And vk3jr.
Regen im April und alle Herzen sind noch still, weil ja noch keines lieben will. Regen im April, Regen im April. Doch am Waldesbach, da sind schon Frühlingsstimmen wach. Bald wird es blühen 100-fach, 1000-fach. Ein kleiner Vogel sitzt im Baum und singt sein erstes Liebeslied. Doch es klingt noch müd, denn die Welt ist trüb. Regen im April, auch mein Herz träumt und ist noch still, weil's auf den Frühling warten will. Regen im April. Ein kleiner Vogel sitzt im Baum und singt sein erstes Liebeslied. Doch es klingt noch müd, denn die Welt ist trüb. Regen im April, auch mein Herz träumt und ist noch still, weil auf den Frühling warten wir, Regen im April.
Oh, another very delicate song there, sung by
very
Leila
nice.
Anderson. She's great.
Very plaintive.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've dialed up her contribution to the 1961 German entry for Eurovision.
Not your typical Eurovision, really.
Not really. She's the oldest contender ever in Eurovision, apparently. She was born in 1905.
Yes, she's
So-
56.
Yes, that's right. And so she looks amazingly well preserved for 56. But
So the voice.
yeah. Well, this next record will testify. So we'll hear this now. This is her contribution. It's Einmal sehen wir uns wieder is the name of the song. Big Eurovision entry for...
Oh, this is the Eurovision.
Yeah, the one coming up here. So the one we just heard, I think, is much earlier. I think it was recorded in the late 30s, early 40s.
Oh, I got it wrong.
That's
okay.
fine. So, yeah, we'll hear this one now. And this is Leila Anderson in her zenith. Well, in her sort of last decade, really. But let's have a listen.
Die Gratulini singt het Einmal sehen wir uns wieder.
Überall auf der Welt fällt der Abschied schwer und das Herz tut manchmal weh. Manches Wort, das man sagt, glaubt man selbst nicht mehr. Lebe wohl, adieu. Noch ein Lächeln, ein Kuss, noch ein Winken, ein Gruß. Und ein Schiff fährt hinaus und mit ihm das Glück, doch die Hoffnung bleibt zurück. Einmal sehen wir uns wieder und vielleicht schon übers Jahr. Einmal sehen wir uns wieder, dann wird alles so, wie es war. Darum glaub an unsere Liebe, mag doch noch so viel geschehen. Irgendwo, irgendwann, denke immer daran, werden wir uns wiedersehen. Und der Sonntag war grau und der Himmel schwer und der Regen schlug aufs Dach. Und die Straße entlang bis hinab zum Meer sah ich dir vom Fenster nach. So viel Liebe vorbei, so viel Träume vorbei. Ich weiß nicht, wo du bist, doch dein letztes Wort klingt in meinem Herzen fort. Loin, plus loin qu'au bout du monde, mon amour est près de toi. Et mon cœur qui vagabonde ne battra jamais que pour toi. Darum glaub an unsere Liebe, mag auch noch so viel geschehen. Denke immer daran, irgendwo, irgendwann werden wir uns wiedersehen. Irgendwo, irgendwann werden wir uns wieder Wiedersehen.
There we have it, the 1961 Eurovision entry there, and I don't think she had very good fold back because, poor thing, I don't think she's quite in tune with her accompaniment.
No, it didn't seem to work so well, did it?
No, I think it was a technical error there, poor thing. She probably didn't have the right setup. But yes, it sounded...
You can certainly notice a change in her voice.
Yeah, an older person, and yes, it just didn't have the sustaining qualities, but look, it wasn't that well recorded.
No, it lost a little bit of its kind of softness.
Yes, it was too closely mic'd, and the orchestra wasn't bleeding.
Yeah, that's right. It didn't do her justice. Really.
No, and she wasn't singing in tune. I think it's probably not her. It's probably the fact that she couldn't hear what she was singing with. Fallback is so
anyway, very,
important.
very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting. It's fascinating stuff, and yeah, it's great that she sort of made that milestone. Getting involved with Eurovision in its early days. That's what Eurovision was like in 1961.
Interesting. Yeah, it's changed, hasn't it?
A bit different from 10 years later. It was about 13 years later that ABBA came along.
I didn't realise. I thought it always had the glam rock sort of thing happening.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit more sort of soupy pseudo cabaret or something.
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, when ABBA won it, they won it with a song called Waterloo.
Yeah.
Which is again not really typically the today's version of it.
Yes, that's right. Yes, it was sort of very. It was very European, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they had their accents. And,
very Eurocentric indeed.
Yeah, and that's right. And a lot of their songs, the early ABBA songs, were all in minor keys, and you got that sort of folky element that's coming through.
Yes, beautifully crafted those.
Yes, they're excellent music. Well, they are excellent musicians. It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
We always used to love watching Eurovision. We've sort of fallen off a bit now, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, EO does a program on Eurovision.
I know she does. I wonder if she's going to do it again.
Yeah, so I don't know. Well, it's sort of happening. It's ongoing. It's called Babble Pop. And then it turns to Eurovision in the weeks before the event.
What you're saying. Yeah.
So, there's also mainly European pop music. That's what EO's really into.
Yes,
so,
that's right.
Yeah, so that's the story. Now,
just while I had a pause, that phone call that I had was from the solar energy people.
Oh, yes.
Wanting me to, or giving me the opportunity to upgrade my solar system, which interests me for a number of reasons. I won't go on at any great length, but it was a long phone call, and one of the main reasons I want to update it is I want to get rid of this bloody inverter, which is causing me angst.
Yes.
And this would be an opportunity to do it. And I explained the situation to the woman trying to sell it to me, and she said if I get a new system, she would send, with the installation, she would send 2 other inverters which I could audition.
Okay, well, I've got a lot to say about this, but I will talk to you tomorrow.
I'd love to have a talk. There are some other elements in the conversation too. It turned out that this woman is partially blind, so
okay.
I gave her a lot of help.
Sure.
Too, but it's a whole different story. It was a most amazing conversation. Really.
How interesting. Well, look, I can certainly offer some of our personal experience tomorrow when we chat.
Please.
And there are a few things, because I went down exactly the same path. We had a solar installation, and we needed to get an inverter, and I made did a lot of research to find out the type of inverter that wouldn't create problems. So I can certainly talk to you about what the option our choice was.
Great.
So we can talk about that tomorrow. But yes, how interesting! I'd like to hear more about that.
Yes. We'll talk offline.
Definitely. Well, we'll continue now with another German or Dutch artist, Mika Telkamp. Now, I played one of these the other day, last week, I think, and this is the other side. It's called Potpourri, and Mika Telkamp was a big Dutch star, sort of was singing in the post-war period right up until, when did she die? Oh, not that long ago, 2016, in her 80s. So she was still recording. and still selling, millions of records into the 2000s. Wow, she's a big local star.
Yep.
And, to 1990. There we go. So, yes, her last years. She wasn't doing so much. I'm just getting a grasp on what she did do. But, yes, she was particularly big in that sort of, 50s, 60s era in Holland. So let's have a listen to... what's he singing? It's a potpourri, that's what I said. Yes, it's a range of songs, so we'll go with the flow. I'm just going to cue this up. And it's on a Philips Continental record issued in Australia in about early 1950s.
Wenn ich des Abends durch die stillen Gassen gehe und jeder Winkel spricht von längst vergangener Zeit, lässt die Erinnerung mir alles neu stehen. Wie liegst du weit, du schöne Jugendzeit? Ich seh das Vaterhaus, wo ich geboren, ich fühl der Mutter zarten Hände drück, ich hör das Herz der Liebsten für mich schlagen und spüre ihren ersten süßen Kuss. Drum geh ich heut so gerne diese trauten Wege und all mein Sehnen bringt mir jene Zeit zurück, in der ich unbeschwert und sorglos ging durchs Leben. Wie liegst du weit, du wunderschöne Zeit? Mütterlein, Mütterlein, könnte es noch mal so wie früher sein, als du mich mit einer lieben Hand geführt durch Kinderland. Mütterlein, Mütterlein, kann es auch nicht mehr wie früher sein, denk ich doch an meiner Kindheit Glück so gerne noch zurück. Wenn die Hochzeitsglocken läuten übers Jahr, wird das Schönste aller Träume endlich wahr. Unterm Baum wir unser Nestchen wunderbar, denn wir sind ja ein verliebtes junges Paar. Freut euch, jubeln alle Glocken, liebt's euch, rufen sie euch zu, und das Glück soll uns begleiten, immer da, wenn die Hochzeitsglocken läuten übers Jahr, übers Jahr, wenn die Hochzeitsglocken läuten übers Jahr, übers Jahr, wenn die Hochzeitsglocken läuten übers Jahr.
There we have Mika Tailcamp there and the Potpourri #1, it says. So, yeah, all good fun. And a bit of music from the Netherlands.
Very good.
On a Netherlands label. Philips were Netherlands, weren't they? I think. Philips were originally a Dutch company, I think. I'm not sure. Anyhow, looking through the pile, we have a Carinia. C-A-R-I-N-I, Carinia. This was a label which particularly specialised in Eastern European music in the 1950s and released here. And this one says Spiwa, or sung by, I think it's Frank Wojnarowski. And I just tried to look him up, and there's a bit of information here, but I haven't quite digested it. In fact, I don't know if I've got the right Wojnarowski. I think there's somebody else by that name, so we may not be able to get much. But it's a polka, and it's Polish, and the name of the track, there is a translation on the label, and it says, Do You Love Me is the name of the tune. So we'll hear this Karinia 78. I always get excited when I find Karinia records because there's always something delightful and European on them.
Excellent.
Deszczyk po Leszczynie, po gęstej krzewinie. Powiedz, że mi moja miła, czy mnie kochasz, czy nie. Powiedz, że mi moja miła, czy mnie kochasz, czy nie. Czy mnie kochasz, czy nie kochasz, bo ja kocham ciebie. Choćby mój koń kark miał złamać, pojadę do ciebie. Choćby mój koń kark miał złamać, pojadę do ciebie. Miał złamać, a ja na nim nogę. Pamiętaj, że moja miła daje ci przestrogę. Pamiętaj, że moja miła daje ci przestrogę. Na przestrogę, na opamiętanie, żebyś chłopców nie kochała w tym żołnierskim stanie. Żebyś chłopców nie kochała w tym żołnierskim stanie.
A Polish polka, and on Karinia. They're all good fun, aren't they, these Continental records?
Oh, they certainly are.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Oh, let's hear another one from Mr. Wojnarowski.
Yeah.
And this is his own composition, this one, and it's called Za Morzem, Across the Sea, it says. Polish vocal, a Dana recording made in Australia by Karinia is the label. It's got a picture of a naked mermaid with a sword brandished above her head over Australia with all these waves across it. It's a very creative approach to a label. I've never seen quite something like it. It must have some sort of broader significance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, let's have a listen. Another recording from Karinia.
Nie będę już do ciebie chodził, boś mnie oszukała, innegoś kochała. Boś mnie oszukała, innegoś kochała. Bo pojadę daleko za morze, bo moja dziewczyna kochać mnie nie może. Bo moja dziewczyna kochać mnie nie może. Nie będę już cię więcej prosił. Wszystko co przecierpiał, będę w sercu nosił. Wszystko co przecierpiał, będę w sercu nosił. Nie mam nic, ojca ani matki. Pojadę za morze, tam do swojej chatki. Pojadę za morze, tam do swojej chatki.
Oh, I miss Eastern Europe with that sort of wonderful folk earthy tradition and, yeah, lots of frivolity. That's a really spirited number, isn't it?
Did you ever spend much time in Poland?
Well, our experience in Poland, we were frog marched over the border.
Oh my God!
Yes, because we were picking blueberries on the border of Slovakia and Poland.
Yeah.
And we lived on blueberries when we were doing one of our walks up there.
Yeah.
And
you do.
yes, you do. And we're with our Czech friends, so they could speak the language. And then a guard with his machine gun
Oh my God!
descended on us and started yelling at us, and you just don't say anything. You just don't say one word. Not reveal who you are, where you are, what's going on. And our friends covered for us, and because we're all together, and because the blueberries were better on the Polish side than on the Czech.
Oh, of course they are. Yeah.
The bigger blueberries.
Yeah.
And we're apparently about 50 metres over the border.
Oh no!
And they were upset, and they were going to take us away. Anyhow, look, it all worked out in the end. We were sort of we had to follow them over the border, and were told not to do it again. In no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
And yes, that was our little micro excursion
Oh
into
my
Poland.
God!
Yes, so I remember that. So I remember being absolutely terrified.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we had a few experiences like that. Another one was walking on the Ukraine border with Romania, right on the border. And because there were a number of villages on that border which had been in an exclusion zone, and during the Cold War, and you sort of couldn't go anywhere near that area because of the sensitivities between Europe and Ukraine being Russia. And so, yes, we were walking along there, and the guards were patrolling continuously, but they were pretty good. They were okay.
Yeah.
And at one point they decided to walk with us for a day, the guards.
Oh, really?
So just to sort of see what we're doing. So I'm a bit intrigued because very, very few people sort of walked in that area. And we were walking for weeks.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they walked with us. And I remember Kate's water bladder fell off her pack and went with a big splash bang on the ground. And the guy turned around with his machine gun.
Yeah. Ready to shoot it.
Yes. Or shoot her.
Shoot her.
Yeah.
More to the point.
It was one of those moments. And it was everyone laughed about it in the end, but it was just, I'll never forget that.
Oh, my God.
And another time we went back to the Ukraine and we did another walk officially in the Ukraine. We actually had to get stamps and visa and walk, and we're walking in the southern Ukraine, and we were sort of held up. It happened twice actually. We were held up by guards who demanded money for us to continue, and so that was all a bit tricky.
Is that unofficial? Or?
Yeah, no, not official. One was official, but they were 16-year-old guards with with arms.
I see.
So we just have to get them drunk and then move on. Drink with them.
Bit of vodka.
Yes, that's right. And the other one was not so official and was a bit of a worry. So we just had to pay up and continue our journey. Yes.
Just extorting money from
Yes.
people.
Oh, yes, definitely. There's no money. It's just incredible.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get out all the DAT tapes because a lot of that second trip to the Ukraine, I've got about 3 or 4 hours of recordings made in different settings with the binaural microphones.
Lovely to hear some of
So we
that.
can probably dig them up. I haven't even transferred them. I should do that. Be interesting.
Oh, yes.
But it's so I feel this deep sensitivity to the current crisis because having walked there and also having walked in Moldova.
Yes.
And Moldova is the sort of the next, possibly the next frontier for the battle. So I just hope not, because it's such a beautiful country. And God knows what's going to happen. But yes, complicated times.
Terrible thing.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, all right, another delve into the pile, and we've got Yves Montard on a parlophone record, and Met Pierre, and I don't know, he's a French singer. I really don't know anything about these records, but I just love the sound of them. So yeah, let's head across to France, post-war France, and yeah, let's see what this brings forth.
Il fait bon chez vous, maître Pierre, il fait bon dans votre moulin. Le froment vole dans la lumière et partout ça sent bon le grain. J'avais 12 ans et j'étais haut comme 3 pommes. Quand me voyant vous me disiez d'un temps bonhomme, voyez-moi ce sacré petit drôle, le métier lui semble à son goût. Prends ce sac, mets-le sur l'épaule, maître Pierre, il fait bon chez vous. Hardi petit gars, bonnet sur l'œil et sourire aux lèvres. Hardi, tant qu'il y a de bras, un bon meunier ne s'arrête pas. Il fait bon chez vous, maître Pierre, je me souviens de mes 18 ans. Votre fille était écolière, que déjà moi je l'aimais tant. Et quand plus tard je l'épousais devenue grande, tout le village est venu danser dans la grange. Et toujours de ses grandes ailes, le moulin continue tout doux, le tic-tac de son cœur fidèle. Maître Pierre, il fait bon chez vous. Hardi petit gars, bonnet sur l'œil, sourire aux lèvres. Hardi, tant qu'il a de bras, un bon meunier ne s'arrête pas. Il fait bon chez vous, maître Pierre. À 30 ans, j'aimais mon métier, j'adorais ma jolie meunière. C'est alors que vous nous quittiez. Mais quand du ciel vous regardez par la campagne, tous ces moulins tournant du nord à la Bretagne, vous pensez avec un sourire qu'on est là pour en mettre un coup, et qu'on a bien raison de dire, maître Pierre, il fait bon chez vous. Hardi petit gars, on est sur l'œil, sourire aux lèvres. Hardi, tant qu'il a de bras, un bon meunier ne s'arrête pas.
They really sparkle, don't they?
Oh, lovely stuff.
Those French records. Oh, good fun.
I remember as a kid I used to listen to the radio programs they used to have. They had one on 3XY and 3Q.
Yeah.
They were designed for new Australians, as they used to call them.
Yes.
In the 50s. Just precisely this sort of variety of European music. It was lovely.
Oh, tremendous. Oh.
About every second record seemed to be on Polydor.
Okay, how interesting. Yes, I think Parlophone and Polydor probably had some sort of interdependence at this point. The other side of this one's a track called Matilda.
Yes.
With Yves Montand. I've just dialed him up. Yves Montand, what can I tell you about him? Born in 1921, died in November 1991. Italian, wait a minute. Italian-born French actor and singer. He remains one of France's...
name.
remains one of France's greatest 20th century artists.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's praise indeed.
Yeah, it certainly is. He was recording from 1941 right up. I scroll and it's still going in 1992. His final film role. That's pretty impressive. That's a good innings. He did well. Yeah, Mr. Montand. We'll hear another one of his. Side B. It means I can file his records away if I play both sides. Yves Montand and the guitar by Henri Crawler, it says here.
Right.
All right.
Crawler.
This could be a bit more intimate. And there's a whole lot of sort of information in French which I can't read. So the track is called Matilda, and I reckon we need to indulge.
Le vent du passé me murmure un conte passé, éveillant mes amours fanés. Valse du souvenir, mélodie des désirs oubliés. Quand vous dansiez, Mathilda, pour moi, valse Mathilda, valse Mathilda, charmant fantôme de mes jours fleuris, tourbillon parfumé, en valsant vous étiez si jolie. Quand vous dansiez, Mathilda, pour moi, comme un vent léger qui passe et ne revient jamais, en souriant m'avait quitté. J'ai retrouvé ce soir le chemin des espoirs envolés. Quand vous dansiez, Mathilda, pour moi, où êtes-vous, Mathilda? Où êtes-vous, Mathilda? Où dansez-vous, Mathilda, sans moi? Si jolie vous étiez, hélas, jamais plus ne me reviendrez. Quand vous dansiez, Mathilda, pour moi. Si jolie vous étiez, hélas, jamais plus ne me reviendrez. Quand vous dansiez, Mathilda, pour moi.
Well, I'll be damned. How about that? That is bizarre. That is evidently for the Australian market. Waltzing Matilda in French. And, well, a very different vibe. You still with us there, Frank? He might have gone. Oh, that is astonishing. Mr. Yves, Mr. Montard. There's some great sort of anecdotes about Montard. Here we go. This is extraordinary stuff. Montard's only child, Valentin, his son by his second wife, Carole Emile.
Oh, hello. Matilda.
Yeah, I know. Waltzing Matilda for the Australian market, no doubt.
It's an international hit.
Yes, but I like that version, Frank.
I loved it. It had charm. It had suaveté, didn't it?
It did. It was so French. Oh, I think I'll vouch for that version. I do like the Queensland version of Waltzing Matilda.
Yeah, with a little twist on it, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a different sort of, it comes from a different place. I think it's an Irish tune. But,
Steve, I just had a call from my cousin in Cairns.
Okay, sure.
Who wants to talk to me about a health issue that he has.
Yes, of course.
And I really need to take
No, you
the
must
call.
you take the call. Look, we'll look forward to your company tomorrow, and I'll catch up with you at the event tomorrow. Feel free to text me or phone me at any point.
Thank you. We may catch up using phones anyway.
Yes,
tomorrow.
indeed. Yes, I expect to be there before 10 o'clock, but not a lot before 10 o'clock. So I don't
I
want
have to be there about then, and I'll go into the hall place.
Yes.
The rooms in there.
Yes,
I think.
we'll catch up with you there, Frank.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Great, Steve.
Tremendous. All right. They'll look forward to it, Frank. All the best.
Likewise.
And
Take care.
we'll speak soon. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All right, folks. We're just testing, and we're just hearing about Mr. Montard. This is a really amazing little bit of extra information. Montard's only child, Valentin, his son by his second wife, Carole Emile, was born in 1988. In a paternity suit that rocked France, another woman accused Montard of being the father of her daughter and went to court to obtain a DNA sample from him. Montard refused, but the woman persisted even after his death. In a court ruling that made international headlines, the woman won the right to have Montard exhumed and a sample taken. Would you believe? The result indicated that he was probably not the girl's biological father. How about that, folks? That is crazy stuff. Now, this next record I was saving up for Frank. I will play it again tomorrow night, I think, because it is just alluring and it's on the pile, and, we'll go with the flow. We might play things twice, but that doesn't matter. This is a track with Eartha Kitt called Uska Dara. I'd never heard this before, and I sampled it before, and it was just delightful. With a Turkish tinge. It's from our continental pile, and it's an early Eartha Kitt that was not on my radar. So we'll just do our quick cue up here. We're just using the SP10 today for everything. Such a good turntable. And let's have a listen to Eartha.
Üsküdar'a giderken aldı da bir yağmur. Üsküdar'a giderken aldı da bir yağmur. Katibimin satırızı uzun eteği camur. Katibimin satırızı uzun eteği camur. Katip uykudan uyanmış gözleri mahmur. Katip uykudan uyanmış gözleri mahmur. Katibin bin katibin el karışır. Katibim satırıt palto ne güzel yaraşır.
Üsküdar is a little town in Turkey, and in the old days many women had male secretaries. Oh well, that's Turkey.
Üsküdar'a giderken bir mendil buldum. Üsküdar'a giderken bir mendil buldum. Mendelemen içine de lokum doldurdum. Mendelemen içine de lokum doldurdum.
They take a trip from Ushkudara in the rain, and on the way they fall in love. He's wearing a stiff collar and a full-dress suit. She looks at him longingly through her veil and casually feeds him candy. Oh, those Turks.
Katibim ara iken yandem da burdum. Katibim ara iken andem da burdum. Katibenim bin katibin el karışur. Katibim mühköleli de gömlek ne güzel yaraşur. Katibim ara iken yandım da buldum. Katibim ara iken yandım da buldum. Katibimin bin katibin el karışır. Katibim mühköleli de gömlek ne güzel yaraşur. Katibim mühköleli de gömlek ne güzel yaraşur.
Talk with Eartha Kitt. Well, folks, I'm going to wind up operations very soon, but I will just make a couple of quick adjustments here. I'm going to change the head shell on this turntable and bring it over to the Stanton 682, and I will play a 45 shortly. I'll play both sides of this as a write-out today. Part of this latest stash is a number of 45s with continental overtures. This one is a 45 called Holland Zingt, Z-I-N-G-T, Holland Sings, and a picture of a windmill on the front, and it's with Lex Karsmeyer, and the orchestra, I don't know, the label's half torn off and the record is in rather bad condition, but that spawns me, that makes me want to play it. So we'll just see what happens. We'll use our noise reduction to smooth things out a little bit. And we look forward to your company tomorrow. Should be back tomorrow. I don't think there's any reason why I won't be on. I'm trying to have a grounded weekend this weekend and not do too much extra, although I will be going to the EMDRC event tomorrow morning. Yeah, I missed the Werribee Fest. I quite forgot it was on, although there's so many things happening here. It's probably not on my radar, or it wasn't on my radar, to be honest. So here we go, 45, and it's a Philips Mini Groove. We'll just get it centered up. What else do I need to do? I don't think there's much else. Thank you for listening, folks. I appreciate your company and your indulgence. And it is a process of discovery. We just sort of delve and find out as we go. It's the name of the game. That's the way I like it. And that means I'm being educated too. So there we go. All right, we'll just line this up and finish off with Holland Synced. I'm vk3sl. Thank you for listening.
do sing with their hands on their hearts. That's community singing, it seems. And music from Holland. It says Holland Sings. I had no idea what that was going to happen there. And it wasn't what I expected, but that's okay. It's good. We'll play the other side, I think. Just 2 more tracks. And I can't read any of this. It's all a stab in the dark. Well, we'll just let this play out. And we'll hear side B. I'm vk3sl. And we're testing on 160 and on UHF and streaming online. That's a YouTube streaming service under my call signs. Look me up on YouTube.
Yes, heard Holland Holland Sings. That's a 45 from the latest batch there. Some community singing from the Dutch Brigade. Well, what we might do now, just for the last little bit, because we haven't quite filled our past band. I've got a record here called The Enjoyment of Stereo, but we're listening in mono, of course. I can make it stereo. I can actually play one channel in on UHF and the other channel on 160, but I don't know if anyone is really tuned in on that format. So we'll make it mono for the moment, and if we get feedback of people wanting to try a different way, we can do that another time. Or maybe I could put it up online. I don't know if this is in the public domain, this record. It features John Borwick, who was a big name in the Gramophone magazine, and he was the technical editor. And he gives us a talk about the enjoyment of stereo. So I'll wind with this, I think, today for a bit, and we'll get some excerpts and some very good advice from someone who was at the helm. He was there when things changed from mono to stereo. And John Borwick, his name was omnipresent. You see him in every Gramophone magazine from that period. So here we go. We'll cue it up now. It's a 33, and this will be our last offering for today. Thank you for listening.
This first test is just to make sure that you have your left channel on the left and your right channel on the right. We're using wine glasses to pinpoint the positions. I am speaking to you from the left hand position, and here is the left hand wine glass. Now I'll move over to the right, and here is the right hand wine glass. We'll just repeat the sequence once more. And if you seem to have your left and right channels reversed, you'll need to change over your loudspeakers. This is left. This is right. Now let's make sure that your two stereo channels are exactly balanced. First, you should take up a central position. And then this piece of music ought to appear equally loud as we switch it from left to right a couple of times. If the music seemed louder on the left or right, you'll need to adjust the balance control on your set. If you have no balance control, you must alter the position of your loudspeakers, or your own listening position, until the sound balance is more nearly equal. As a final check, I'll walk to the central position and play you a few notes on a third wine glass. My voice and the wine glass should appear to be coming from precisely midway between your two loudspeakers. If my voice and the wine glass seem to be out of focus and you can't decide clearly where the sound is coming from, don't worry. Go straight on to test number 3, which should clear things up. This test will quickly enable you to check whether your two stereo channels are correctly wired in phase. As I speak, we are going to make our recording alternately in and out of phase. This recording is in phase and should be distinctly situated midway between the loudspeakers. This recording is out of phase and should sound unnatural and difficult to place in space. This recording is in phase. This recording is out of phase. If you got the opposite impression to the one we intended, then it means that one of your channels is wired in the opposite sense to the other. You should reverse the connections to one of your loudspeakers and play through this test again. In case my voice didn't give you a clear enough contrast between the in-phase and out-of-phase conditions, here is a piece of music which should make the difference really stand out. We'll begin it in phase and then switch it out of phase, in again and finally out of phase. Now that we've got the left, right and centre properly in balance and in correct phase, you remember our original 3 wine glasses. Left, right and centre. Let's see if you're getting a really well-defined stereo spread. We'll add 2 new wine glasses at half left and half right. Here is the half left position. And here is the half right position. Half left, half right. Now I'll play a scale on our 5 wine glasses, and as I play it, you should check that each glass stays firmly in its position. Of course, true stereo doesn't give you sounds from only 5 places. The musicians should appear spread out naturally to fill the whole of the space between your loudspeakers. Just check on the naturalness of your stereo on this piece of music. We'll begin in mono from the right-hand speaker only, and then gradually change over to stereo. The volume at which we listen to records is very much a question of individual taste, but for maximum enjoyment of stereo, you should aim for a natural, realistic loudness. As a general guide, we are going to play you a piece of music. You should be able to find a setting of your volume control which makes the loud passage exciting without being overbearing, either for you or the neighbours, while still keeping the quiet passage just audible. The volume setting you've now chosen is the proper one for judging the technical quality of new records and equipment. For For instance, we'll play the same music again at a much lower level, and you'll soon see that much of the life and balance will be lost. Tone control settings too are a matter of taste, but here is a quick test that you're getting a fair balance between bass, middle and treble notes. With the volume at the natural setting you found in the previous test, you should find the cymbals and the bass drum etc. in this piece of music about equally balanced. If the bass and treble weren't well balanced, you should try different settings of your tone controls. Here are exaggerated examples of tone control errors. First, with the bass turned down. Now with the treble turned down.
Malformations.
And now for the rest of this record we have a selection of musical items, a stereo treat, as a reward for all your hard work. No doubt you'll just sit back and enjoy the music, but I feel quite sure that your enjoyment of the music will be enhanced by your enjoyment of the stereo.
listening to a test transmission from vk3sl. Test missions on 160 and also on UHF.
Well, that's it, folks. That was the music of Vaughan Williams, actually, the 5 Tudor portraits we heard. Number 5, I think it is Burlesque, epitaph on John J. Bird of Dis. And it's from an LP called The Enjoyment of Stereo, How to Get the Best Out of Your Record Playing Equipment by John Borwick, made for EMI back in the 60s. All right, folks, that's it for me today. Look forward to your company tomorrow. Have a very good evening, and thank you very much for listening. I'm vk3sl. Cheers.